Many years ago in the beautiful city of Lagos, in a cramped one-room apartment in Ajigunle, lived a widow named Mama Ifunaya and her only son, Ibuka. Life had been unfair to her since the death of her husband. Ibuka was just 6 years when his father died, and Mama Ifunaya had to face the world with a growing child and no support. She was never bitter about her suffering. Instead, she bore it with strength. On nights when the roof leaked and their stomachs groaned in hunger, she would cradle Ibuka and whisper, "My son, one day, you will eat the kind of food we only smell in other people's kitchens. You will sleep in a house with light and air conditioner. I will wipe your tears now, but one day, you will wipe mine with joy." And she meant every word. When there was no food, she would go from house to house pleading, "Please give me a cup of Gary. My son hasn't eaten since morning. I'll pay back when I can." In the evening, she sold fruits at mile 2 and washed clothes for people in the day. At night, when Ibuka was fast asleep, she would kneel beside his tiny mattress and prayed fervently, sometimes whispering, sometimes sobbing. "Jehovah, you are the only one I look at you, and the one I trust to take care of my son. Please raise him. Give him a future. Use my pain to bless him." Miraculously, God answered her. At 16, Ibuka won a full scholarship to study engineering in Canada. It was as though heaven finally opened. She fell to the ground in her wrapper and cried, "Oh God, I knew you heard me, and I also know once he get there, you won't put him to shame, and you'll bless him beyond measures." Years passed, and he graduated with honors in engineering and later pursued an MBA. Ibuka returned to Nigeria as a polished, intelligent man. He wasn't just educated, he was hungry for success. And success came knocking. Within a few years, he built a business empire, owned multiple real estate properties, and became one of the youngest business tycoons in Lagos. The first thing he did after building his mansion in Banana Island was move Mama Ifunaya in. The house had everything: maids, chefs, private nurses. Mama Ifunaya couldn't believe it. "Ah, my son, I am really proud of you. You've really lifted us up from poverty," whilst hugging. "Don't worry, Mama. There's more to come," Ibuka said, smiling. One calm evening, Mama Ifunaya sat with her son on the marble-floored balcony. "Ibuka," she said gently, "I thank God for your life every single day. He lifted us from dust and placed our feet on marble. But my son, don't you think it's time you settled down with a good woman? I want to carry my grandchildren before I leave this world." Ibuka laughed, sipping his wine. "Mama, you and this your grandchildren matter. Don't worry, I'm thinking about it seriously now." "No be small thinking, oh," she said, chuckling. "You're a grown man. You have everything. Look for a decent woman, one who will love you and love me too." Ibuka nodded thoughtfully. "Don't worry, Mama. I will do that." That night, he sat alone in his study, staring at the city lights. His mother was right. What was all the wealth without someone to share it with? Just a few weeks later, at the wedding of an old college friend, Ibuka's eyes caught a familiar face. She was stunning, her beauty even more refined than before. "Kioma," he whispered to himself. Kioma, his old flame from university, had blossomed into a radiant woman. Her poise, her laugh, her grace, everything about her was magnetic. He walked over to her table. "Kioma, is that really you?" She turned and her face lit up. "Ibuka, oh my God, look at you. You've changed so much." "I know, right? It's by grace. It's good to finally see your pretty face again," Ibuka said confidently. "Oh, you never said," Kioma said, laughing. From that moment on, they were inseparable. Movie dates, fine restaurants, walks on the beach. It felt like fate had brought them back together. Excited to share the news with her friend, Kioma met her best friend Amara at a rooftop restaurant in Victoria Island one Sunday afternoon. "Amara, guess who I'm dating again?" Kioma said happily. "Don't keep me in suspense. Spill already," Amara said almost immediately. "Ibuka." "Girl, can you imagine?" Kioma said. Amara's eyes widened. "Wait, Ibuka as in billionaire Ibuka? Banana Island Ibuka?" Chioma laughed. "Yes, and girl, he's spoiling me silly. First date, he picked me up in a black Range Rover. The next weekend, he flew me to Abuja just to eat suya. Amara, I feel like I'm in a dream." Amara leaned in with a sly smile. "Kioma, you have gold in your hands. Secure him before someone else does. Don't be naive. A man like that won't stay single forever. Amara, I don't think I need that with Ibuka. He's already madly in love with me, Kioma said confidently. Then get ready to lose him. But if you want to keep him, I know what to do. Kioma scoffed and brushed it off. But that night, her thoughts wouldn't let her rest. The next morning, she called Amara. I've decided, let's do it. But I'm worried about his mother. I haven't met her, but he talks about her like she's the sun and moon, and I can tell he's a mummy's boy. That's easy, Amara replied confidently. I'll take care of that too. That weekend, they met at their usual restaurant. Amara opened her purse and handed Kioma 2 items. Spray this perfume before you see him. And this handkerchief? When you visit his house, dab it on your face before meeting his mother. She'll be under your influence. Kioma laughed nervously. Are you serious? Just do it. You'll thank me later. Sure enough, during their next date, Ibuka became more intoxicated with her every day. He couldn't stop calling. He'd buy her jewelry, take her on spontaneous trips, and even canceled meetings just to be with her. When the day came to visit the house, Kioma was prepared. She wore a soft pink gown and used the perfume as instructed. But when she entered and stretched her hand to greet Mama Ifunaya, the woman paused. She looked at Kioma with a kind smile, but her eyes were wary. You're welcome, my daughter. Sit down. She never took the handshake. They ate lunch quietly, and Kioma was introduced to Mama Ifunaya as his to-be wife. Mama Ifunaya wanted to disapprove of it, but she smiled and nodded with approval. Kioma was so happy. She had finally hit the jackpot, but immediately Kioma left. Mama Ifunaya sat with Ibuka in the living room. Ibuka, that girl, something about her doesn't sit right in my spirit. Mama again? He sighed. You need to open your heart. Not every modern girl is bad. It's not about fashion or beauty. It's about spirit. There's something dark surrounding her. Mama, please, don't spoil this. Kioma makes me happy. All these assumptions are not valid. I really want you to be happy for me. Mama Ifunaya said nothing more. She went to her room and prayed over her son like she had always done. Months passed and Ibuka married Kioma. The wedding was grand. Helicopters, fireworks, and celebrities. Lagos had never seen anything like it. Kioma was very happy coming to the house to be a whole wife. She thought since she's now married to Ibuka, everything will be in her favor. But she was surprised to see that Ibuka spoiled her mother more than her. It didn't sit well with Kioma. She smiled on the outside but burned with quiet resentment inside. She began to feel like a stranger in her own home, unnoticed, unimportant, and that resentment slowly hardened her heart. One night, as they lay in bed, Ibuka was fast asleep, snoring lightly. Kioma lay wide awake, staring at the ceiling. Her mind raced, flooded with thoughts of how to remove Mama Ifunaya from the picture. This woman has become Ibuka's god, she muttered bitterly. Until she leaves this house, I'll always be second place. Quietly, she reached for her phone and dialed her friend Amara. Kioma, why do you sound like that? Amara asked sleepily. I'm fed up, Amara. This man treats his mother like she's his wife. Every time it's, Mama this, Mama that. I thought I've tied him. I don't feel like a wife in my own home. Amara laughed softly. Kioma, you've been too slow. You should have handled this a long time ago. Let me tell you what to do. Stop feeding her. Tell everyone she's fasting or on a special diet. When she's too weak to fight back, find a quiet roadside, dump her there. Tell your husband she traveled to the village to see a cousin. By the time he finds out, it'll be too late. Kioma hesitated. Are you sure? Trust me, Amara said. It worked for my cousin. You want to save your marriage? That's your only option. The next morning, she began implementing her plan. She called the house staff into the kitchen. From today, nobody serves that old woman food or water unless I approve it. She's fasting. Anyone who disobeys me is leaving this house immediately. The maids stared at her in shock. But madam, Mama hasn't eaten since yesterday, one of them said. Are you deaf? You want to lose your job, Kioma shouted. The girl nodded silently and stepped back. Kioma also took Mama Ifunaya's phone, turned it off, and prevented her friends from coming to the house. Soon Mama Ifunaya's health began failing. She wondered if it was just old age. Her limbs grew weaker by the day, Her head pounded from dehydration, but all she could do was pray. God, don't let the devil triumph over me, she would whisper every night, barely able to stand. Each time Ibuka called from the office to ask how Mama was doing, Kioma smiled and said, "Oh, she's fine. She told me she's fasting for 7 days. You know Mama and her spiritual things." And Ibuka, trusting his wife, believed every word. Later that evening, under the heavy Lagos rain, Kioma took her final step. She called 2 of the security guards. "Go upstairs, carry that old woman, wrap her in this ankara. I don't want noise, just take her far. Somewhere near Ikorodu Expressway. Leave her by the roadside, then come back. Say nothing to anyone." Though the men were hesitant, they feared Kioma's threats. So they did as she said. Mama Ifunaya was dumped on a muddy roadside around Awad. Her face was pale, her lips dry, but she was still breathing. Kioma returned home and cleaned the house like nothing happened. The next morning, a pepper seller named Mama Kunle was on her way to set up her stall when she noticed something by the road. "Hey, is that a person?" she said, drawing closer. When she uncovered the wrapper, she saw Mama Ifunaya, unconscious and barely alive. "Jesus!" she screamed. With help from nearby mechanics, they rushed her to Ikorodu General Hospital. She was admitted in critical condition. One of the nurses, touched by her appearance, took a photo and posted it on Facebook. It went viral. The following evening, a popular Lagos TV station shared the story. Breaking, unidentified elderly woman found dumped by the roadside, suspected abuse, currently receiving care at Ikorodu General Hospital. Ibuka had just returned from his trip and was resting in the living room when the news came on. He wasn't paying attention until he saw the image. His heart skipped. He leapt to his feet, staring at the screen. "That's my mother," he shouted. Without thinking, he grabbed his car keys and rushed out. When he got to the hospital, the doctor confirmed her identity. Ibuka broke down. How did this happen?" he asked, holding her frail hand. The doctor shook his head. "She was found dumped near Owed. If they had delayed 1 more hour, she would have died." Ibuka stared at his mother's face, tears running freely. "I trusted Kioma. Oh, God, what have I done?" That night, he stormed back home. As he entered, Kioma came out of the kitchen wearing a smile. "Hey, baby, welcome." Before she could finish, he slapped the file containing the hospital report on the table. "Where is my mother?" Kioma froze. "I said, where is she?" she stammered. She traveled to the village. Liar! You left her by the roadside to die. What kind of demon are you?" "Ibuka, please. I was only trying to save our marriage. You always put her before me. You almost murdered my mother. Leave me house immediately. I don't want to see you ever again in my life." From that day, Ibuka became more protective. He moved his mother to a private apartment in Surulere with 2 caregivers and visited her every day after work. But the guilt never left him. One day he knelt by her bedside and said, "Mama, forgive me. I didn't see the snake I married. I failed you." She placed her hand gently on his head. "I prayed, and God answered. That's enough for me." 3 months later, Mama Ifunaya passed away peacefully. At her funeral, Ibuka wept uncontrollably. The pain of almost losing her, due to his own ignorance, never left him. Till his dying day, he remembered her final words to him. "Never let the wrong woman blind you from the eyes that watched you grow. Women may come and go, but a mother's love, that one is sacred." Moral lesson. Never let love for a woman or man blind you from truth. If you forsake your roots, you may lose your soul.